Welcome everyone to sold-out Freedom Hall in Louisville, Kentucky for one of the premier rivalries in college basketball as the Kentucky Wildcats take on the Louisville Cardinals. Hi everyone, with Clark Kellogg, Kevin Harlan. Thank you so much for joining us. 6 consecutive wins for the Wildcats led by Patrick Patterson.
He is one of the elite low post scorers in all of college basketball, shooting over 70% from the floor because he takes good shots and he has excellent hands and finishes well. Runs the floor, catches it in the post, and can go over both shoulders. He's a terrific player inside.
On it up for the Louisville Cardinals, and Terrence Williams, one of the reasons why, very versatile.
A stat sheet stuffer, Kevin. He does everything, leads his team in rebounding, probably the best player for Louisville at attacking the rim and getting into the lane, and he's also an excellent dime dropper. His strength is his versatility.
And right now, let's take a look at today's AT&T in-game analysis.
We'll start with Louisville. This team is struggling in its losses to make shots. They've got to do a better job with shot selection, so we'll keep an eye on conversion rate. The duo has to deliver for Kentucky. That is Patrick Patterson and Jody Meeks. They average 43 points a game. They'll have to get that or more today. And then finally, both teams freeze in threes. Kentucky, one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country. Louisville likes the three-point shot.
From Freedom Hall, it's the Kentucky Wildcats and the Louisville Cardinals. Our tip-off is next on CBS.
CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by the new AT&T. Your world delivered. Hershey's. What makes a Hershey's bar pure? Pure, delicious Hershey's chocolate. And by Chevy, an American revolution.
What makes a Hershey's bar pure? Pure togetherness. Pure enjoyment. Pure, delicious chocolate. Pure Hershey's.
You can buff up, clean up, but you can't cover up that bald spot. Instead of hiding it, solve it with Men's Rogaine Foam. In clinical testing, 85% of men regrew hair. Men's Rogaine Foam. Use it or lose it.
Beep! Happy holidays. Howard's phone. Howard doesn't have AT&T, which means no bars way out here. So he never got the call from his friend telling him to thaw the turkey before he deep fries it. Otherwise, it could, you know, explode. Yeah, we missed that call. I'm missing some beard.
Switch to the network with the best coverage, AT&T. More bars in more places. Now get 50% off all LG phones.
You know, it's not all fun and games when you're a mascot. Every year I find myself where the season always ends meets the bills never stop.
You know that place where you realize even a squirrel can't live off peanuts? Well, maybe you don't, but believe me, I'm there.
Here's a way to score on savings.
Nice.
Switch your car insurance to State Farm. You'll save big, plus get a payment plan that fits your budget. Call, click, or visit and start saving today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You know I wear this everywhere.
Cobalt tools are so comfortable, you just don't want to quit working.
Try it now. Jimmy, get in the car.
Cobalt, the next generation of tough tools. Available exclusively at Lowe's.
Pipe wrench. Hey, Jimmy?
Last season's Southeastern Coach of the Year was Billy Gillespie. Now in his second season, he had a great run at Texas A&M, and here is who he starts today.
Well, keep an eye on Michael Porter, folks. He's got to be steady at the point guard position against Louisville's pressure.
And the Louisville Cardinals will come in at 8-3. A lot of good players here and a lot of depth on this team.
Plenty of depth, but again, the backcourt play, Jerry Smith has to do a good job, and Samardo Samuels inside, a real force, but has struggled against good teams inside.
Rick Pitino coaching 8 years at Louisville. He coached 8 years at Kentucky, so he brings a completely new dimension to this rivalry. Our game today is being brought to you in high definition by Harris Corporation, the world leader in broadcast systems for high definition television and mobile media. It is rocking inside historic Freedom Hall. Our officials today, John Cal, who's officiated 7 Final Fours, Tim Higgins, who has been in 13 Final Fours, and Tony Green, who has officiated 5 Final Fours. And here we go, and the Wildcats begin things.
Man-to-man defense here for Louisville. And right away, a turnover as Meeks tries to throw it inside to Patterson. That'll be something to keep an eye on, Kevin. Kentucky has struggled all season long with turnovers. In the losses the Wildcats have had, they've been over 20 turnovers a game. They've got to take care of the Orange today.
Especially to BCS-type conference teams like West Virginia and Indiana, the turnover issue has really been there.
Yeah.
Here's Samuels, this talented freshman from Jamaica, working inside and was dueling with Patterson. They break the press. That's going to be one of the early stories in this game, how Kentucky handles that defensive pressure of Louisville.
And already 2 possessions, 2 turnovers. And it's important for Louisville to score the ball early so they can get into this full-court pressure. And that time they got a good basket from Samuels inside.
And playing in a hostile environment like this, Kentucky has just got to weather the storm for the first 5-6 minutes of the game.
Well, we spoke to Billy Gillespie last night, and he mentioned that his team is getting better, but he doesn't know exactly how they'll handle this type of an environment and the kind of defensive pressure they will see from Louisville.
Good-looking steal by Galloway, and he is tailed by Smith the other way. Off a screen by Stevenson, Meeks inside. Knocked away by Clark and slammed in by Stevenson.
Both of these teams excellent on the backboards. Anytime you get penetration, as Meeks did there, if the shot is missed, there are lanes to that offensive glass available.
Here's Williams, who Clark was talking about early on. Galloway is on him. Here is Sosa, who got the start today. They need his performance to really level out. In fact, it's somewhat of a surprise that Edgar Sosa was starting today in the backcourt for Louisville.
Well, then talking to Rick Pitino yesterday, he mentioned, as we had a foul called on the drive there,
Porter picked it up his first.
Michael Porter defending Sosa, but one of the keys for Louisville to reach its potential as a team is the play of Edgar Sosa. He's been up and down. He's a young man that has tremendous ability and oftentimes will get down on himself if he makes a bad play. He has to really get into a next play mindset and play with freedom and joy and not be so hard on himself.
Stevenson alters the shot by Clark, and here is Patterson. He'll always kind of tail as they bring it up, and Meeks works on Smith and quickly double. Clark is there. Quick hands, out of bounds. Another Kentucky turnover.
Terrific job by Louisville. You know they're going to mark Jody Meeks very closely, and this Louisville team has versatility defensively, Kevin. A number of different guys can defend Meeks, and even if he gets by his initial defender, there will be a lot of attention from the weak side defenders on Jody Meeks today.
Clark looking inside for Williams. He sneaks in, working on Patrick Patterson, where they play Williams all over the floor.
Well, he's got a lot of game. He handles the ball, defends, rebounds, and can score.
Patterson to Galloway, who snuck inside the defense of Clark. Here comes Edgar Sosa. He is out of New York. Clark, who was flirting with possibly a chance at pro basketball a year ago, comes back to this Louisville program and works now on Stevenson. 2 very long players. The quick double by Patterson. Nice ball rotation to Sosa for 3. Porter was late on the close. And I think you said this earlier, his offense really feeds his entire game.
Yeah, it does. And you really want him to grow out of that, but if he can get started early, a lot of times that can lend itself to a strong, full game for Sosa. He's whistled for a foul there.
And he picks up his first right there. Well, here are the 2 players to really circle, Meeks and Patterson for the Wildcats.
43 points a game between them. And Jody Meeks in his last 4 has averaged 30 points a game. Patterson leads the nation in field goal percentage, shooting over 70% from the floor. And those 2 guys are going to have to be very productive today on the road for Kentucky to have a chance to win.
There's the defense of Sosa. He hit the 3, drives the other way. And fouled on the play by Stevenson, who came in from behind and picks up his first personal. Great hustle by Perry Stevenson. And Sosa racing the other way, slow to get up.
Well, again, Stevenson here, not very aggressive with the ball. Good steal by Sosa. Great effort by Stevenson here to almost come up with a clean block. He got the ball cleanly, but fouled Sosa with his body. You know, Kentucky averages 8 block shots a game, which is top 10 in the country.
And number 2 in the Southeastern Conference.
And you can see why. I mean, Stevenson never gave up on that play and almost made an excellent stop.
Sosa making his 5th start of the season today as Ramon Harris is going to come in for Kevin Galloway, the junior from Sacramento. And here is Harris, who is the former high school player of the year from Alaska, with Sosa at the free throw line. Now 11 of 17 from the stripe this season. Rick Pitino has really circled Sosa, say, for us to be a great team, this kid has really got to thrive. More full court pressure by the Cardinals. Kentucky's had 4 turnovers in 6 possessions. They're putting Smith on Meeks. On Harris, they got Williams. And Clark goes running out on Perry Stevenson. Smith right on Meeks again. Shot clock is down to 7. Now Samuels comes out on Porter. Look at the Cardinal defense. Ramon Harris with the runner. That's an offensive foul.
Excellent defense in the half court that time by the Cardinals. Rotation, poor close out there, but nice help as Samuel stepped in and took the charge. Boy, you'd like to see Harris be able to stop and pull up with the jump stop and shoot the little floater instead of leaning in and picking up that offensive foul.
You know about the Cardinal defense, amongst the best in the country. What about their shot selection? Where do they find their shots in their offense?
Well, if they move the ball and share it and space and make good cuts like that, they can get high-quality shots at the rim. But in the 3 losses, this team has only shot 30% from the floor, Kevin, in part because I think they've been in too much of a hurry, trying to get high-quality shots too soon without moving the defense. And there you see where Louisville was in the preseason compared to where the Cardinals are currently ranked. And nothing strange about that. Some people will say they haven't played up to expectations, but preseason rankings to me, well, I understand people look at them.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be very careful in placing a lot of stock in them because they're based on anticipated results, not what you've seen on the court. So I think right now, about this time of year, you've got a better handle on where teams are based on what they've done between the lines.
Freshman point guard DeAndre Liggins has come in for Porter. Here is Harris, who just picked up his 2nd personal foul. And here is Liggins. The much talked about freshman Sosa and Clark trap him. Clark sailing inside. Right into Ramon Harris. It is a 9-0 run for the Louisville Cardinals. And here comes Liggins the other way, slashing for 2, coast to coast.
Beautiful.
So a timeout. The Cardinals on the move. 15:52 to play in the first half.
It gets an EPA estimated 37 miles per gallon highway. More than Corolla, more than Civic DX. The Chevy Cobalt XFE. Made by GM. Surprised? Now during the Red Tag event, buy this Cobalt XFE for under $13,700. Or just announced, qualified buyers get 3.9% APR on any 09 Cobalt.
I'm not done yet, no matter how hard I train.
How long I train.
Or when I train. I'm not done until I finish it with EAS Mileplex. Taken within 30 minutes after my workout, the high-quality protein in Mileplex helps me refuel and build lean muscle. That way, I don't waste my workout. Now we're done. For a free bar sample, go to EAS.com.
Gonna be a late one, people. What a bummer, dude.
Now you won't be able to watch me on DirecTV tonight.
Relax, Red. I can easily set my home DVR to record you right from here. Done.
Wow.
You know, you're a little scary up close.
With DirecTV, you can easily set your home DVR from any cell phone or computer. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Happy New Year from Dave and the Late Show. Monday, Dave's all new with Kate Hudson.
That's not all. Listen to this.
Later this week, catch Kevin James, Kiefer Sutherland, and Kate Winslet.
It hasn't happened often, but I'm going to X the ball and circle the receiver of this pass from Patterson, where Kentucky has been able to break the pressure of Louisville. Patterson gets it back at the foul line, recognizes he's got 3 guys around him, and then finds Galloway with a beautiful pass. Patterson averages 19 points a game, but one of the ways he's improved from last year to this year is recognizing when to make a good pass, and that time he did.
Patrick Patterson, the current Southeastern Conference Player of the Week. He averaged 30 points and 12 rebounds, but Kentucky's got a lot of things right now on their mind. Points off turnovers. They are -8 in that category. They've turned it over 6 times so far.
Well, that's the difference in the game. You're looking at a 7-point deficit, and all of it is due to Louisville capitalizing on 6 Kentucky turnovers thus far. And we knew that would be one of the key elements today. A hostile environment against a team that likes to pressure you when your team has not shown the ability to handle full court pressure.
Here is Clark, who is a terrific ball handler for his size. And Samuels on top, and Patterson draws that defensive assignment. Harris is watching Williams across the lane. Stevenson taps it off to Jody Meeks. And here comes Liggins, the freshman. And a whistle away from the ball and down low. In this 13-6 Louisville advantage right now. The Cardinals come in having lost 2 of their last 3. Samuels picks up his first personal foul.
Really important that Samuels not pick up a second one here in the first half. He's got to be physical without fouling. That means moving your feet and keeping your hands up and away from the offensive player in the post.
Smith fights his way right through the screen, knocks away the Meeks shot. And Jody Meeks slithering inside into 2 defenders, Clark and Samardo Samuels. And Samuels, and you just came right out of your mouth, picks up his second personal foul. So that is the story early in this game.
It sure is, because he'll probably have to sit. And that means Terrence Jennings will come into the lineup. Throughout practice yesterday, Rick Pitino talked about Samuels playing strong, aggressive defense without fouling. But it's something a young physical player has to learn based on how the game is being called from game to game. That time, trying to help a teammate, he came in and committed the foul over the top.
Terrence Jennings, who just comes in, the freshman from Sacramento, and as Rick Pitino would say, he is the one player in practice that can go up against Samuels. They're looking for some resistance in Pitino practices, and this is where it comes from, this Terrence Jennings. As Sosa again, who has already hit a 3 and leads Louisville with 5, draws the defensive assignment of Liggins. And Smith and Meeks. Clark got it from Williams. He slides inside, working on Barry Stevenson of Kentucky.
And with Samuels out of the lineup, Kevin, the Cardinals don't have the low post presence that he offers them. That means Terrence Williams becomes much more important with his ability to get into the lane, be under control, and find people when he draws defenders. He did it beautifully that time to Clark.
Another turnover, number 7. Here is Sosa. Patterson now is on Williams. Sosa for 3. Rebound by Patterson. So much of what Louisville does on offense goes to their front court.
Yeah, it does. They want to get Clark going. Samuels, obviously, when he's on the floor, is a real weapon inside. But now they have to go with more of the dribble drive option with Samuels saddled with 2 fouls.
Kentucky has started this game 3 of 5. Look at the defense of Smith on Meeks, and he's done a very good job.
He's
on
a glove.
Jody Meeks.
He's an absolute glove, Kevin. This kid commits to defending. Nice pass over the top. Nice high-low action. But Jerry Smith will make it extremely difficult for Jody Meeks all game long. He's got a motor. He's smart. He's tough. He stays in his stance, and he relishes the opportunity to be a lockdown defender today.
Liggins got it off to Patterson for Patterson's first 2 of the game. Meeks got in the way. There is a Kentucky shove inside, and a foul called on Meeks.
He averages 24 points a game, 8th best in the nation. Struggling so far today. Errant pass. Another errant pass. And then trapped here. But he's the kind of guy, Kevin, Now, he can struggle for 3, 4, 6, 7 minutes and then explode like a volcano. But he's got to continue to be patient while staying aggressive.
Here is McGee, just came in for Jerry Smith for the Louisville Cardinals. Wide open, late close out by Liggins, the miss by McGee. Look at Clark, clean it up inside and fouled in the paint. And Stevenson reaching in picks up the UK foul. So Stevenson picks up his second. And Samuel still on the Louisville bench, and he's got 2. And here is Clark at the free throw line, and already we're seeing an advantage of +2 points for Louisville at the free throw line. And here is Clark, who nails that one. He is a junior from Plainfield, New Jersey. When he came out of high school, he was the #1 prospect out of the New York City, New Jersey area.
He's got a lot of game too, Kevin. He does everything extremely well. I asked Rick Pitino yesterday, what is Earl Clark's best attribute? He said, Clark, I'd have to tell you 7 or 8 things because he does everything so well.
High praise.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. He's a terrific all-around player.
Is Kentucky now handling this pressure, you think, a little bit better?
Well, they've done a better job, but you've got to continue to attack it. Move it up the court for scores. That time a non-ball handler trying to make a play off the dribble.
Harrelson lost it and then gets it back at the other end for the Kentucky Wildcats. Preston Knowles has come in for Louisville. And here comes McGee, 3-on-2, snaps it outside, Williams. Jennings couldn't get it. And out of bounds and off of Louisville. Yep, it is a big rivalry. Only 78 miles separate Lexington and Louisville, Kentucky.
Kevin, in the Louisville Journal paper this morning, there was a pullout section in the sports section, something you would see at a Final Four or at a Super Bowl. I mean, a 6-page pullout section talking solely about this game. I knew it was large, but I didn't know quite how large, as this is the first opportunity I've had to call this wonderful basketball rivalry.
George Good has just come in for the freshman Jennings for Louisville. And Porter is back in the game for DeAndre Liggins.
Little zone defense here by Louisville in the half court. Just a different look, a matchup zone.
It's Meeks way outside, and McGee was defending, and McGee is a good defender.
He's a good defender, but this guy here, Jody Meeks, has in the gym range, Kevin. If he's in the building, he can shoot it. Deep range does Jody Meeks have, and they lost him momentarily in that zone, and he made them pay.
Meeks now has 5. He leads the Cats. Here comes Williams right into Ramon Harris, and the rebound ripped off the glass by Patrick Patterson. Lasso's his second. Here comes Porter. Meeks, another one. This time over Knowles. He faces his second. Different defensive player in this series. The third that has guarded him today. He knocks down another triple.
Can you say volcanic eruption?
He is fun to watch. That's why a lot of people in this Southeastern Conference think he might be one of the top 2 or 3 players in the entire conference and up for Player of the Year honors.
Well, he's more than just a shooter, and he's an outstanding shooter because he gets in position with his feet and has a quick release. This guy's an excellent three-point shooter, too, Preston Knowles.
Knowles is the number 3 three-point shooter in the Big East Conference. Meeks got it, and a quick shove. It's on Knowles as Kentucky was bringing it out. They're down by 4 are the Wildcats here in Freedom Hall today.
Oh, man, that's good.
It's drinkability. Let me explain. According to my poll, 41% thought drinkability meant the ability to drink. 26% said easy to swallow. One guy in Boston told me to get out of his yard. Actually, drinkability means that Bud Light is just the right taste.
This is one of your nicer maps.
Not too heavy, not too light. Bud Light. The difference is drinkability.
I do. I exercise daily. I do.
It offers an EPA estimated 33 miles per gallon highway. Better than Camry LE. Better than Accord. And it's the 2008 North American Car of the Year. The Chevy Malibu. Made by GM. Surprised? Now during the Red Tag event, buy this Malibu 1LT for around 21 grand. Or just announced, qualified buyers get 4.9% APR on any 09 Malibu.
You know, it's not all fun and games when you're a mascot. Every year I find myself where the season always ends meets the bills never stop.
You know that place where you realize even a squirrel can't live off peanuts? Well, maybe you don't, but believe me, I'm there.
Here's a way to score on savings.
Nice.
Switch your car insurance to State Farm. You'll save big, plus get a payment plan that fits your budget. Call, click, or visit and start saving today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You know I wear this everywhere.
Cobalt tools are so comfortable, you just don't want to quit working.
Try it now.
Jimmy, get in the car.
Cobalt, the next generation of tough tools. Available exclusively at Lowe's.
Pipe wrench. Hey, Jimmy?
Visit CBSSports.com for the latest news and live scores. We've got you covered with exclusive video and expert analysis. Check out CBSSports.com today.
And then there were just 5 unbeaten teams. I circled the Redbirds, Illinois State. They've got a big game coming up on Tuesday against Bradley. Bradley also undefeated in the Missouri Valley Conference. Jim Les leading the Bradley Braves. And you take a look, how about Arkansas with a nice win? These teams were unbeaten as well. Connecticut, Oklahoma, Minnesota, and Stanford all suffered their first losses of the season. Connecticut got beat at home by Georgetown. Michigan State handled Minnesota at home.
Since we're doing a Kentucky game, what do you think of the job done by Tubby Smith up at Minnesota so far?
Outstanding. He's one of the outstanding coaches and ambassadors for college basketball, has been ever since he's been a head coach. And no surprise that he would have that Golden Gophers team playing at a high level and winning basketball games.
Harris gets it in. This is Meeks out there with Porter, Patterson, and Josh Harrelson. That is the Wildcat 5. They got Knowles on Porter. Also in the backcourt for Louisville will be McGee, Clark, Williams, and Good.
Still staying in this matchup zone, it appears. Got to do a lot of talking when you're playing this kind of defense, Kevin.
That's a good point.
Especially when you've got a shooter like Jody Meeks out there.
Here's Porter with the shot clock down to 7.
Now it looks like man-to-man, they're matched up.
Oh, and a great steal picked off by Williams and tailed by Meeks. Another great steal. Another Kentucky turnover. They now have 10 in less than 10 minutes.
And they only trail by 6.
Because they're shooting 75%.
Well, if they don't turn it over, they probably lead. There's a nice look from Patterson. It doesn't go.
He was defended on the play by Good, and hurtling out of bounds was Terrence Williams.
Well, I like the energy of Louisville defensively. They're in the passing lanes. They're talking to one another. They're helping each other out.
Here comes the freshman Jennings back in. And takes the place of Good. Another freshman.
Stevenson back into the game. He has 2 fouls. So he's got to be careful, although Billy Gillespie feeling like he doesn't have much choice. Got to get his shot blocker out there.
Patterson draws a crowd. Clark is there to inhale the rebound. That's his 4th rebound of the game. And Williams out of Seattle. He is a senior. And Harris sticks on Williams. Louisville started this game 4 of 6. They've gone 3 of 8 since. Clark outside, defended by Stevenson, who alters the shot and picked up by Ramon Harris. Meeks shook the defense. Knowles grabbed on, picks up another foul for the Louisville Cardinals. Knowles picks up number 2. Samardo Samuels picked up 2 quick ones for Rick Pitino's Cardinals, and he has not left the bench since. And so now Pitino trying to shore up that with a couple of freshmen going in. Good, along with Jennings.
Exactly, and he anticipated that Samuels might get into foul trouble today and was constantly imploring Jennings to be ready to play today.
Swapshire, here's a freshman from St. Louis, checks in for Clark. Meeks drives inside and gets it to go. Scooping for 2 around Jennings. Jerry Smith back in, launches and hits an uncovered 3.
That's cash. He's got that kind of time. He's an excellent 3-point shooter, Jerry Smith. The Cardinals that time beat Kentucky down the floor.
Did Meeks go in again? 3 on him that time. Williams, the last line of defense. He's got 12, a game high 12 for Kentucky.
And one of the things you notice about Jody Meeks, he was hurt last year, missed a lot of games. He had a hip injury and a leg injury. He's in terrific shape. You can tell because he was really pressured early, had a few turnovers, but now he's still going at a high rate against excellent pressure and making outstanding plays at the basket.
I like Kentucky's defense last couple times down.
In the half court, they're outstanding defensively, Kevin.
Harris inside, rejected by Jennings. As Meeks has led Kentucky with 10 near the end of today's game, we'll select the Chevy player of the game from each team in recognition of continued excellence on and off the court. Chevrolet will make a contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. It supports the development of new technologies and innovations. With Clark Kellogg and our entire CBS crew here in Freedom Hall, Kevin Harlan. The great rivalry, Kentucky and Louisville. 8.5 to play in the half.
Kevin, you mentioned how Kentucky is good in the half court defensively. Both of these teams allow 37% field goal defense.
It's Meeks for 3, tapped up and in by an ever-alert Patterson, who just controls once he stakes his claim inside.
He gets so many rebounds with both hands, Kevin. He's one of the rare guys that gets both hands. He's an excellent 2-foot jumper, so he is able to secure rebounds with 2 hands more than a lot of big guys that I've seen. You jump higher when you reach with 1. So his ability to get up and be strong and elevated with 2 hands is testimony to his bounceability.
And he's so hard to move. You can't block him out.
He's strong.
McGee on Meeks. Nothing can stop right now the terrific first half performance of Jody Meeks, the #1 scorer in the Southeastern Conference with 14, and the Wildcats to within 1 after trailing earlier by 9.
He loves this build, and he went for 46 back in November against Appalachian State here. 2 years ago as a freshman in a Kentucky win, he had 18. He loves this arena.
But he's getting tired on the defensive end. Smith knocks down a 3. Meeks could not make the closeout. He's getting tired offensively.
Yeah, I think he took himself out of the play with a gamble.
Yep.
I think both teams are gassed.
Yep.
There's been nonstop action, Kevin. This timeout is well timed for both of these teams.
McGee picks up the foul. We've got time.
This crossover has more cargo space than the Honda Pilot or Toyota Highlander. And they can't beat its fuel economy with an EPA estimated 24 miles per gallon highway. The Chevy Traverse, America's best crossover. Made by GM. Surprised? Now during the Red Tag event, buy this Traverse 1LT for around $29 grand. Hurry, this surprising value won't last long. See your local Chevy dealer.
I'm not done yet. No matter how hard I train.
How long I train.
Or when I train.
I'm not done until I finish it with EAS Mileplex. Taken within 30 minutes after my workout, the high-quality protein in Mileplex helps me refuel and build lean muscle. That way, I don't waste my workout. Now we're done. For a free bar sample, go to EAS.com.
We represent the Coke brand. We would like to sue Coca-Cola Zero for taste infringement.
I'm an immigration lawyer.
We feel that your expertise might be able to be a way to think outside the box.
I think, personally, not that speaking outside the box, and I hate that kind of language. I deal with families and things, and I appreciate what you're trying to do.
And now that I think of it, Ron, the head of the Coke Zero team's Canadian. Could we have him deported?
Da 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 da.
I hate year-end clearance sales.
We look ridiculous.
Man, wish I was selling those.
AT&T is having a sale on the good stuff. Experience live TV on the go with The View, a full touchscreen with the Do Anything Insight, and look fashion-forward with the stylish Shine.
I could look at myself all day in that shine.
Dressed in that?
All LG phones now 50% off. Only at AT&T.
Here's what has happened so far. Meeks has been on fire with 14. They put 3 different defenders on him in this game, but he has scored 12 points in the last 5 minutes for the Wildcats.
Yeah, he's been explosive. You take a look at the field goal percentage I circled for Kentucky, but then the points off turnovers +8, and the number of turnovers for Kentucky. Converting at a high rate when the Wildcats take care of the ball, but the turnovers, the difference in this game right now, and for Kentucky to be within 4 speaks, one, to what Jody Meeks has been able to do on his own offensively.
You've talked about Patterson, you've talked about Jody Meeks, and where is that third score for Kentucky? Anybody standing out there as you watch the beginning of their season?
Right now it's by committee, Kevin. There hasn't been one guy to step up consistently as that third scorer. That's why we talked about Patterson and Meeks needing to get it done, and they're doing it in fine fashion so far. The rest of the guys just have to do a good job of playing their roles. I don't know, it could eventually be Liggins. He's only a freshman, but he's extremely talented. Has the ability to play both guard spots, as we see Michael Porter at the line. And I think he's done a reasonably solid job as a steady hand at the point guard position. He's playing with a lot more confidence. You can see it as the season progresses. Just steady, and that's what they need from him. And he's a capable scorer and a really good athlete, a better athlete than you would expect. He was an outstanding high school football player in California.
Got recruited by USC. Pete Carroll tried to talk him out of his basketball commitment to Kentucky to play quarterback for the Trojans.
Yeah.
Here's Clark back in.
The passion was for the round ball. That's how those football guys are, though, Kevin. You know, the basketball, that's what they like to do. You got a lot of frustrated hoopers playing football.
That's very true. Here comes Smith, lasering it inside for good. Kirk in the game, puts up a 3, and he shot that right over the freshman, Darius Miller. So Kurek nails a 3. That is the 5th he has put up in 8 tries. He's got some range. He's a freshman, is Kurek.
Yeah, Rick Pitino really likes his potential. He's an outstanding shooter. Right now, that's his greatest attribute. He's an Allen wrench in that he's a specialist. He's got one function, and right now it's knocking down perimeter shots.
And here is Miller. He is a freshman with Meeks out of Modesto, California. Screen with a switch on defense. Clark now goes on Meeks. Stevenson can't handle the pass. That is the 2nd turnover in the last 7 minutes by Kentucky. They have weathered the storm. They struggled early in the game with turnovers.
Calmed down a bit. That time, Porter was just undecided as to what he wanted to do with the ball.
And Good can't knock it down, but Clark is there to get it offensively. And a fresh shot clock for the Louisville Cardinals. Across the lane comes Clark. He goes right into the defense of Stevenson. And a foul called on the play. Stevenson picks it up, and visit CBSSports.com for a wrap-up of all the day's NCAA basketball action. Get the latest scores and stats, video highlights, and in-depth analysis from our team of experts, including Clark Keller. CBSSports.com. Stevenson picks up number 3, and that is a story. They rely so much on this kid, Stevenson, for UK. As Clark is at the free throw line for the Cardinals.
Well, both teams over the limit. And if Kentucky can take care of the ball and get to the foul line, this team shoots 80% from the line. Louisville has struggled in the mid-60s all season. So that could be advantage Kentucky if the Wildcats can get to the free throw line.
Josh Harrelson will come in for Stevenson. More full court pressure by Pitino's Cards.
Louisville doing a nice job on the line so far in this half.
Kurek is on Patterson. McGee watches Porter. Smith is working on Meeks down low. Smith did a good job on Meeks to begin the game. There's a good screen by Porter, so they have to switch on defense. Let's see if Meeks now can exploit that. Clark jumps on him defensively. No one's on Porter for 3. Rebound offensively by Patterson with a great fake. Can't get the deuce. Clark is there for the rebound. Harrelson defending. Over the shot. Good defense by Kentucky. We haven't talked about Kentucky's defense that much, but it's been fairly stout. Louisville now shooting 45% from the floor.
Well, again, both of these teams allow 37% field goal defense. And when you talk to the coaches, both coaches feel confident in their team's half-court defense.
Clark on Miller. No one on Harrelson for 3. The big man from St. Louis who comes out of junior college can't knock it in. Here comes McGee. One-time starter now coming off the bench, barreling down and finds two. Porter could not stay with him. And now Louisville is up their lead to 8. They've led by as many as 9. Kentucky had closed to within 1. What has Louisville done to build back up that lead again?
Well, the half-court defense has been good. They forced Kentucky into late shot clock shots, and then Kentucky unable to convert. A 6-0 run for Louisville, and a nice drive that time by McGee, which led to the timeout by Billy Gillespie. As we take a look at your top 10, this team right here, UConn, is going to head that way, and Pittsburgh is going right there. After Pitt's win at Georgetown, UConn lost one. The other side, folks, next week, Wake Forest host North Carolina. North Carolina has a couple of games between now and then, but Wake Forest, extremely young, Kevin, but very, very talented. Went into BYU and stopped the nation's longest winning streak, home court winning streak of 53 in a hostile environment against a very good team. That BYU team, to me, if you were picking a tournament field today, they're a tournament team. They're very, very good, well coached by Dave Rose. But Wake Forest, a young, talented team, went on the road and got a big win. Looking forward to next Sunday's tilt between the Tar Heels and Wake Forest Demon Deacons. And that should be one treat for all basketball fans next week, those two getting together.
Miller and Porter, Meeks, Patterson, Harrelson, the Kentucky 5. Sosa's out there with Williams, Good, Clark, and Smith for Louisville. Clark knocks away the shot. Harrelson comes up with it. That's a second block by Clark. The shot clock is down to 4.
They don't know it, I don't think.
They do now. Porter for 3. Good! Oh, what a shot! He nailed that from Lexington. What a beauty.
78 miles away.
Wow. That scraped the top of Freedom Hall.
Boy, Kentucky needed that because they had really struggled the last few possessions offensively against that Louisville defense.
They're having to work for every possession.
Yeah, and that's what Rick Pitino wants his team to force. Tough shots.
Screen by Good. That opens the door for Sosa. Right down the middle into the teeth of the Cat defense. They trap him, and Harrelson got the pass. Meeks. Williams on him. Harrelson with the screen. Harrelson defended by Good. Too many steps. 3 seconds. 3 seconds with a turnover. 3:16 to play in the first half. The 12th turnover by Kentucky. Timeout.
Case, there's something wrong with your eye.
One iris is a different color than the other, which happens occasionally with twins.
I'm an only child.
This Friday, you would have had a brother, but he died when you were both in the womb. The co-writer of The Dark Knight.
This thing is trying to use you to enter our world.
Brings you a vision
I'm being haunted by someone who's never even born.
of evil unborn.
He wants to be born now.
The Unborn. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday.
Ah, that's refreshing. Yep, it's drinkability. Simple concept. The sun is hot, which makes us hot. Bud Light is like a million tiny air conditioners, refreshing your whole body.
Why not just one big one?
Because it's a million.
I just think it'd be more energy efficient.
The easy drinking taste of Bud Light. The difference is drinkability.
Hey, better, swing! Swing!
It gets an EPA estimated 37 miles per gallon highway. More than Corolla, more than Civic DX. The Chevy Cobalt XFE. Made by GM. Surprised? Now during the Red Tag event, buy this Cobalt XFE for under $13,700. Or just announced, qualified buyers get 3.9% APR on any 09 Cobalt.
You're watching NCAA college basketball on CBS.
Trapped in a women's prison.
Stuck in a women's prison, it's every guy's fantasy. Maybe not McGee.
Cut his throat.
New NCIS. Then Patrick Jane's New Year's resolution. Find his family's killer.
You think you're playing him, he thinks he's playing you. One of you is wrong.
New Mentalist after NCIS Tuesday.
Right now, let's take a look at today's AT&T in-game analysis.
Well, so far for Louisville, you like the 50% shooting. Shot selection is good. Meeks has carried the load offensively, 18 of the Wildcats, 29 points between those two. Patterson has only taken 5 shots. He's got to get more attempts. Turnovers have thwarted that. And then the frees and threes, Louisville winning both of those areas. So that's why the 7-point lead. The defense has been outstanding for Louisville.
Now, I know that tinkering with the defense is something that Rick Pitino absolutely loves. Over a 5-minute span, Jody Meeks put in 12 for Kentucky, but over the last 4 minutes, he hasn't scored. What has Pitino done with his defense?
Well, it's just the activity of the matchup zone. Guys are very conscious of where Meeks is. Whoever's defending him individually is applying pressure and staying close to him. And then Kentucky's been a little sloppy with the ball. And all of that's contributed to Louisville being able to push out ahead.
Everybody was inside on Sosa, who snapped it out with the missed shot. Here comes Kentucky, down by 7 under 3 to play here in the first half.
And I think Kentucky has to try to attack a little earlier in the shot clock, because they've been fighting the shot clock on half of the last 6 possessions, and it's nice to get it inside to that guy, and then you should get an open look when he's double or triple team.
Nice defense by Smith on Meeks. It's plucked inside. The rebound goes to Williams. He'll come the other way. And again, like we've said, a lot of this offense goes through the Louisville Cardinal front line. Quick trap now on Sosa. And a shove, and A.J. Stewart just checks in and picks up the Wildcat foul number 1.
Well, we talked about the Cardinals' activity defensively. Good rotation. There's a shooting of the gap by Sosa. Nice job by Jerry Smith individually. Shot blocking by Jennings there. So again, Louisville is very much in sync defensively. It's not just individual defenders. It's about being locked in together as a 5-man fist, so that if you get beat, a teammate is ready to help, and then the other guy is ready to rotate. So Louisville doing a good job of that.
I don't necessarily think they have seen this great cohesion. In fact, Rick Pitino has said we have a very moody team. We swing back and forth with individual guys, sometimes a group of guys. What's your read on the vibe on this Louisville team?
I think that's more at the offensive end. I think defensively this team has been pretty consistent, because Rick Pitino is able to play 8, 9 guys and keep people fresh. He's got experienced perimeter defenders who are athletic and long. So defensively, I think this team has been pretty solid. Offensively is where the team has struggled. But today, it's been a pretty good job at both ends of the floor for Louisville.
Liggins is in for Porter. Sosa picks up Liggins, the freshman.
Kentucky has to play through Patterson and Meeks here. They need a couple of buckets. This is a danger zone as we finish the half.
How about Sosa? So strong. 13th Kentucky turnover, and coming up on the AT&T at the half, James Brown, Seth Davis for scores, news and highlights. That is the AT&T at the half from our CBS studios in New York. Shooting in this game so far, Kentucky is right at 50%, 11 of 22. 40% shooting for Louisville, 12 of 25.
There you just saw the turnover story here. 13 for Kentucky, only 3 for Louisville.
That turnover story has been a constant story for Kentucky all season.
Yeah.
And a dribbling violation.
Actually, a foul there, Kevin. I think it was Earl Clark got called for a block.
Away from the ball. Clark picks it up. You should take a look at Earl Clark, who has been terrific. Next weekend, the NCAA on CBS has 2 great games. First, Saturday, Kansas will take on Michigan State. Then Wisconsin will battle Purdue. That's on CBS next weekend. Patterson over Good. Knocked by Clark, but back in by Patterson, who is relentless on the glass for Kentucky.
Well, both of these teams are excellent rebounding teams on both backboards. And when you get the ball inside, Kevin, you have a chance to attack that offensive glass. That was a well-executed play by Kentucky. Patterson got a shot that he loves to get, that right-handed jump hook over his left shoulder. And then no box out by Louisville, and Kentucky able to beat up that offensive glass.
9 rebounds now for Patterson, who is hot in this game. Let's take a look at who's hot and who's not in the landscape of college basketball around the country.
Oh, they put a little dagger in my heart there with the Buckeyes sliding a little bit, losing 2 of 3. But Illinois State, we talked about that team earlier. Pittsburgh, boy, I tell you, impressive win against Georgetown. And Gonzaga, after a strong start, has hit a couple of speed bumps. But all of these teams, Illinois obviously hot, but even the teams, Ohio State and Gonzaga, that have hit a little bit of turbulence recently, are going to continue to get better and work through a bumpy period here.
Points off turnovers, Louisville is thriving. Second chance points, Kentucky is thriving. Kentucky +8 with rebounds today so far.
And that's part of the reason that this game is still fairly close. If you're turning it over, you have to find a way to negate that. And Kentucky has done it on the glass.
Porter is back in, watching Sosa. He gets it out, deflected by the Wildcats. 14 seconds on the shot clock and 1:09 to play here in the first half from Freedom Hall. Williams will inbound. Meeks is on Smith. Porter is on Sosa. A.J. Stewart is watching Clark. Sosa. And snared inside by Harris. Another rebound for Kentucky.
Boy, Patrick Patterson really working inside.
Hand-to-hand inside that paint.
Yes, sir.
Fighting for everything he can get.
Yeah. That was George Good defending him in there.
Good picks up his first personal foul, and this will put Patrick Patterson at the free throw line. This Kentucky team comes in 11-3, 6 consecutive wins. They've won 3 of the last 4 against Louisville. And here is Patterson, who Kentucky beat out to get him. Duke and Florida, some pretty savvy recruiters at both schools, but they get him. Here comes Kevin Galloway in the game as you take a look at the top shooters in the country, led by Patterson of UK.
Yeah, he gets high quality shots and converts at 72%. 7 of every 10 shots he takes, he puts in the hole, and he's an excellent free throw shooter too. And when your big guy can post up as effectively as he can, you know he's going to get fouled. It's a real nice security blanket when you know a guy like that can knock down free throws at about 80%.
Screen by Clark. Pick and roll with Smith. Defended by A.J. Stewart. Knocks the ball away. Galloway gets it out to Meeks. Alley-oop inside. Stewart could not get the pass. Galloway tries to get it. It goes back to Louisville, who playing without the freshman Samardo Samuels, who is the high school player of the year a season ago. Out of New Jersey, he got 2 early fouls, and his first half was basically shut down by Rick Pitino.
Yeah, there was about $1 in that parking meter for him. And that usually keeps you sitting for a while. Unfortunate for that young man, but he'll have to come back in the second half. Boy, Kentucky had a chance there, Kevin, to take the last shot.
He sure did.
And Meeks made a high-risk pass attempt and had 2 teammates there who didn't know that they were in the same vicinity, and now Louisville has a chance to take the final shot.
3-point shooter Will Scott has just come in. Here's a 3 by Clark over the defending Patterson. The rebound fought for. Stewart was there. 0.8 to play in the first half, and that is a foul. A shove, and it goes on the Cardinals.
That's not the strength of Earl Clark's game, the 3-point shot, but clearly the foul on Terrence Williams. Well, I love the way the Kentucky big guys go after rebounds with both hands. Patterson is one of the best I've seen in the college game at consistently going after rebounds with both hands.
Let's step back now and get some perspective. It was a 9-point early lead for the Louisville Cardinals. Kentucky came roaring back and came to within 1. Then Louisville built back up their lead again. Meeks was hot, 12 points in 5 minutes for Kentucky. Where has this game turned here to give Louisville this 5-point lead?
Well, I tell you what, Kentucky has to feel good if the Wildcats can knock down a pair of free throws here. There's one. This will give the Kentucky team a little momentum going into the half, Kevin. It was on the verge of becoming a double-digit deficit. The defense continued to be effective for Kentucky. They found a way to get a couple of scores, and now they can squeeze this margin even more.
Meeks is the only player in double figures in this game with 14, 50% shooting for Kentucky. And their 8th point at the free throw line. 9 have come from the free throw line in Louisville today for the Cardinals. And so it is a 3-point Louisville halftime lead. That's the first half story from Freedom Hall as we take you to our CBS studios, and here's James Brown. Kentucky has never led. Louisville is led by as many as 9 here in Freedom Hall.
That's good. It's drinkability, my friend. Drinkability means Bud Light won't fill you up. So you got plenty of room for your favorite festival cuisine, you know, like funnel cakes, turkey legs, my personal favorite, baba ganoush.
What's baba ganoush?
No idea, but it sounds cool. Dude, draw your own food.
Never filling, always refreshing. Bud Light. The difference is drinkability.
This weighs a ton.
It's gonna be a late one, people. What a bummer, dude.
Now you won't be able to watch me on DirecTV tonight.
Relax, Red. I can easily set my home DVR to record you right from here. Done.
Wow.
You know, you're a little scary up close.
With DirecTV, you can easily set your home DVR from any cell phone or computer. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
I promise to play by the rules.
To play fair.
And act with integrity.
I promise to always be there for my teammates.
To be loyal and true.
I promise to respect coaches and officials. And treat opponents with the dignity they've earned.
I promise to work hard and always do my best.
And when the game is over, I promise to shake hands, win or lose.
I promise to do the right thing and make my parents proud.
Catch every game of the first 3 rounds in their entirety with Mega March Madness as DirecTV supplements CBS's coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship.
Don't miss Craig Ferguson and Serena Williams on a new $1 Million Password, CBS Tonight.
You notice me as soon as you walk into the room. There is an instant connection, and I am consumed by your love. Quite literally, I might add.
Get the double cheeseburger extra value meal for just $2.99 at McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Each year, the Kentucky Community and Technical College System helps more than 120,000 Kentuckians get a head start on a higher education. And because we make it easy to transfer credits to 4-year institutions, many of those students are able to earn advanced degrees and reach the heights they've always dreamed of. To learn how you can help the Kentucky Community and Technical College System continue to transform lives and our state's economy, visit kctcs.edu.
I've been thinking about you all day, baby, and I just couldn't wait to get my hands on you. And now here we are, just you, me, and a hunger that's about to be satisfied.
Get the McChicken extra value meal for just $2.99 at McDonald's.
Watch live local radar when you want it, only at WLKY.com weather.
CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Bangkok Dangerous, starring Nicolas Cage, on DVD and Blu-ray January 6th. DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by Bud Light. The difference is drinkability.
Kentucky turned it over 9 times in the first 7 minutes. Then they settled down a little bit, Clark.
They did. They did a nice job in that last part of the first half, taking care of the ball and getting better shots, and they also dominated the glass, which is why the turnovers haven't cost them as much as you might anticipate.
How about this second half now? What are you looking for at least early in the second half?
Well, how does Samuels handle his extended time on the bench? He picked up 2 fouls in the first 5 minutes, only played 5 minutes in that first half. Can he get his game going and be a presence inside without fouling? And then also, does Kentucky do a better job of taking care of the ball? Nice drive by Terrence Williams.
Right in to Ramon Harris of Kentucky. Full court pressure again. Anderson, Harris, Porter. Here comes Meeks, slicing down the lane and right by Earl Clark of the Louisville Cardinals.
Kevin, that's an area that he's really improved on from last year to this season. He was really a shooter, but he was hurt last year, so you really never got to see the full Jody Meeks. But he's in terrific shape, and he's added the ability to attack that rim going both ways to complement that lethal jump shot of his.
That's a great point, because now you put that question mark in the defender's mind all the time.
You've got a number of ways to get your points.
Samuels is in, working on Patterson. And that's what they need. They really didn't have that force inside. He got 2 early fouls, and his first half was quickly shut down by Patino.
Well, it balances out your diet when you can go inside and shoot the 3. And when you don't have Samuels out there for 15 minutes of the first half, it makes you more of a perimeter-oriented team if you're Louisville.
Here comes Meeks again by Clark, crashing into Samuels, and Samuels picks up his 3rd personal foul. That has been a story in this game as you take a look at our Lowe's first half statistics.
Well, you take a look at the three-point shooting, check marks there. Turnovers only 5 for Louisville, but points off turnovers only 13-6. Louisville did not capitalize on that as much as you might think. And then Kentucky, 8 offensive rebounds led to an 11-5 advantage in second chance points.
So Meeks at the free throw line in the first half, of course. Saw points off turnovers favor Louisville, and second half, second chance points favor Kentucky as you watch it again.
Yeah, I think Samardo was there but wasn't squared up and then tried to lean into Meeks, and that's where he picked up the offensive foul. With 2 fouls, now this is a young player I'm talking about here, Samardo Sam, he's a freshman. But with 2 fouls, in that situation, if you can't make a clean play, I think you've just got to make sure you're in no position to commit a foul there.
Meeks with 18. Kentucky from the free throw line today has gone 10 of 11. Screen by Clark. Williams throws past Harris. And Clark tried to go inside to Samuels. Now, as a freshman, 3 fouls, big game, a lot of emotion in this building. It'll be interesting to see how he kind of navigates this and if he'll be as forceful and as provocative inside.
Well, this will be part of his learning curve here because Rick Pitino going to leave him on the floor and see how he handles it.
Do you like that?
Oh, sure. I think so. I mean, this is a kid you're expecting to be one of your main players, and at times he's going to have to play with foul trouble.
Patterson follows the missed 3 by Meeks. Patrick Patterson now beginning to flex his muscles with the double-double, 10 points and 10 rebounds. Patterson with another double-double on the season. He's got 9 in this young campaign for the Kentucky Wildcats. Samuels right into Patterson. Doubled by Harris. No one on Clark because Harris went to double. And Harris gets the rebound.
Kentucky controlling both backboards. One of the reasons the turnovers haven't been as much of a factor is because Kentucky is dominating the offensive glass and getting second chance points.
Good point.
Boy, Meeks had a curl there and just didn't catch it. He had his eyes set on that hoop.
Here comes Porter into Sosa, rejected by Clark and put back up and in by Patterson. 2 quick putbacks, second chance points by Patrick Patterson as Kentucky captures their first lead of the game on a 6-0 run.
Well, again, it's working the offensive glass. Patterson able to come in unimpeded there. And the Louisville players doing too much ball gawking and not enough boxing out. I always thought it was easier offensive rebound, Kevin.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, because guys typically don't box out. As a matter of fact, in my playing days, I was a better offensive rebounder than defensive rebounder because it's about pursuing the ball on offense. Defensively, there is the pursuit of the ball, but there's also the need to box out occasionally. And sometimes when you can get to the ball, you don't box out or you get mesmerized by the ball. And I just think it's easier to get to that offensive glass if you're consistent in the effort.
As you see, the tee is put on Billy Gillespie. And at the free throw line will be Will Scott. Samuels, by the way, is going to sit down for the Louisville Cardinals. Taking his place will be freshman George Good. So Pitino has really had to manufacture to fill the role of Samuels, who in games previous to this rarely left the court. He was on a long time.
Well, again, when you step up in the level of competition, I mean, you're facing one of the elite big guys in the country, and Patrick Patterson, although that's not where Samuels picked up his fouls. He tried to take a charge on Meeks, tried to help out on Meeks in the first half, and picked up one of his 3 fouls.
But this is what, Samuels is going to see every night in the Big East.
Yeah, and with him on the bench, that means that Earl Clark and Terrence Williams have to really look to carry this team offensively. Trying to post Earl Clark now. Good hard double team by Kentucky and a nice pass.
No one's on Williams. They double down low and knocks in the 3. You called it, Clark.
That's terrific basketball there. Those are your 2 best offensive players on the floor now. So they have to get it done for you. And then Edgar Sosa, who had, I thought, a solid first half, has to not forget about what he can do offensively as well with Samuels on the floor. Off the floor, rather, with the foul trouble.
Here is Harris. Patterson outside Meeks. Clark was closing in. Volleyballed and picked up by Williams. Ahead to Edgar Sosa. The Cardinals have numbers. Here is Scott for three. Will Scott, who is a terrific three-point marksman and a transfer from Cornell. 7-0 run by Louisville.
Pretty impressive answer, isn't it, Kevin? After Kentucky took its first lead.
And the crowd back into it.
Very much so.
Zone defense by the Cardinals. Perry Stevenson swings it outside. Nice shot by Ramon Harris, who was uncovered on the play, and here comes Williams. By Porter, and fouled on the play by Harris. 15:35 to play in the second half. The Cardinals have shifted gear. Down by 1 moments ago, now they've got the lead by 6.
On DVD January 6th, the only way out is to break all the rules. Nicolas Cage.
My name's Joe. This is what I do.
Bangkok Dangerous on Blu-ray and DVD January 6th.
Cobalt tools are so comfortable, you just don't want to quit working.
Try it now. Jimmy, get in the car.
Cobalt, the next generation of tough tools. Available exclusively at Lowe's.
Pipe wrench. Hey, Jimmy?
I'm not done yet. No matter how hard I train.
How long I train.
Or when I train.
I'm not done until I finish it with EAS Mileplex. Taken within 30 minutes after my workout, the high-quality protein in Mileplex helps me refuel and build lean muscle. That way, I don't waste my workout. Now we're done. For a free bar sample, go to EAS.com.
Tonight on 60 Minutes, the coach they call the mad scientist of football, Mike Leach of Texas Tech. What are his tricks? Find out on 60 Minutes.
The Kansas Rock Chalk chant is March Madness, but is it as mad as a drink with real Coke taste and 0 calories? Coke Zero, taste the madness.
Beating the triple team, we're going to take a look at Earl Clark. He has the ball in the post. He's actually triple teamed here, folks. And then a nice job by Terrence Williams to make himself available and get in the vision of Clark behind the three-point line. Squared up, balance, splash. And then on the heels of that, Will Scott hit a three in transition and a 7-0 run. A technical foul on Coach Gillespie, and we're not sure as to why it was called. Allowed Louisville to tie it up at 43 and then back-to-back threes. And now it's a 7-0 run, and the Cardinals looking to add more to it as Williams goes to the line.
Cardinals are plus 12 points above the three-point arc. Seth Davis in our halftime with James Brown was talking about guard play for Louisville. You could extend that thought really to the guard play at Kentucky. Both these teams looking for something.
Yeah.
Something substantial from guard play.
Yeah, it's so important, Kevin, at any level of basketball. When you have a good quarterback on the basketball court, somebody that can make plays and understands his role as the catalyst for your offense and your defense, it makes everybody else's job so much easier and things flow so much better. When you struggle there, it can make it very difficult to be consistent and even more difficult to play winning basketball.
Cardinals have Samuels on the bench with 3 fouls. Again, he didn't play much in the first half because he got 2 quick ones. We're approaching 15 minutes to play here in the second half. Louisville's on a 9-0 run since the technical foul on Kentucky coach Billy Gillespie.
Every time Louisville has threatened to go up by double digits, Kentucky has been able to claw back into it.
Sosa and Clark. Jerry Smith, Good, and Williams, the Cardinal 5. It's Stevenson, Porter, Patterson, Harris, and Meeks, the Kentucky 5. Louisville 50% from the field. Shot clock at 19.
But Louisville also knocking down the three-point shot. They've made 7 on the day after going 5 of 10 in the first half.
What about Kentucky? They hit their first 2. They've gone 1 of 8 since.
Yeah, have not knocked down any threes. Have done a good job on the offensive glass to maintain contact in this one.
Screen by Good for Sosa into Porter. Great play by Edgar Sosa with a terrific screen that gave the open door.
Kevin, one of the toughest plays to defend is the pick and roll, especially when it's in the middle of the floor. Sosa turns the corner. You see he gets a little bit of a step on Porter after the screen. Didn't appear to be much contact. Let's take a look. Oh, he got the hand on his back. Just a slight touch, but anytime you get that hand on an offensive player's back going to the hole, that's an automatic foul.
You've watched now Louisville for more than a half. In person, you've seen a lot of tape on him throughout the season. Is this kid as important as Rick Pitino thinks to the team?
Without question. I think he's critically important, Kevin, because he's capable. It's not as though he's not shown the ability to be a solid point guard. He just has to continue to have confidence in himself and not allow mistakes in the course of a game to distract him. Because in the game, everybody's going to make mistakes. But he can't continue to beat himself up to the point that he affects his own play and the play of his team when he does have some errors.
And Kentucky has got to stay away from big men trying to take it out against that full court press.
Yeah, well, yeah, you want the ball handlers trying to handle it.
Cardinals have a 12-0 run right now on the Kentucky Wildcats, and here is Stevenson picked up by Clark.
You try to find Patterson here. You've got to try to get it inside to Patterson.
Good is on Patterson.
And Patterson has to make himself available.
Harris across the lane. Good rebound by Terrence Williams. Here comes Edgar Sosa. He's got his wing players open, and he'll work on Meeks.
That zone defense really packing it in for Louisville because the Wildcats haven't made any threes. They're able to sit back in the lap of Patterson, and Earl Clark shuffled his feet before he got it on the floor.
Kentucky hasn't turned the ball over here in this second half yet. Louisville is turning away this Wildcat team, and tonight on 60 Minutes, they call him the mad scientist of football. Texas Tech coach Mike Leach. So what are his tricks? Find out tonight on 60 Minutes with Clark Kellogg, Kevin Harlan, Freedom Hall, as they are working on Ramon Harris, who has had neck issues, back issues, spasm issues, and now they're working on his shoulder. So Darius Miller is in. Stevenson. Great pass to Patterson inside. You called it. He beat Clark to the rim.
Boy, that was terrific. That was well done by Stevenson to be under control, to survey his situation and not rush in there. The zone is always vulnerable, Kevin, to middle penetration, be it with the dribble or the pass. If you get into the middle under control, you should get a high-quality shot.
Mismatch. Porter is on Clark, and then coming over is Stevenson to fill in the bottom. Good comes up with the loose ball. A wide open three by Terrence Williams. A big-time triple. And the lead for the Louisville Cardinals jumps to 57-45. Miller picked up by Sosa. Stevenson throws over Good into Patterson, who has a sledgehammer inside as he is belted by Clark.
Wow.
Whoa. That's right.
P squared with a powerful punch. And he'll get one more at the line. Another excellent pass by Stevenson. But again, Kevin, you get that ball to the middle of the zone. It really puts unbelievable pressure on the backside of that defense. And twice now, Kentucky has executed perfectly in getting the ball inside to Patterson after first getting it to Stevenson at the high post.
Two new guards for Louisville. McGee and Preston Knowles will come in place of Jerry Smith and Edgar Sosa. That's a nice little rotation that Pitino has in the backcourt with those 4 guards.
I tell you, I think those guards are going to get it together. Sosa obviously is the key because he can do some unique things as a ball handler and score. But the number of quality guards they have potentially, and then you throw in Terrence Williams, who's got some size and the ability to get into the lane and make plays off the dribble. I think it's just a matter of time with this Louisville team to where it will be playing at a really high level. That's an offensive foul on Earl Clark. Rick Pitino doesn't think so, but he lowered that shoulder just a bit.
We'll
take another look at it. Yeah, he got that left shoulder down and into him just a fraction. Stevenson doing a pretty good job moving his feet also.
Andre Liggins has come in for Porter. Darius Miller is in.
Couple of freshmen.
Yep, that's tough. There's Knowles on Liggins. Screened by Stevenson. Patrick Patterson has scored the last 9 points for the Kentucky Wildcats. He's got 17 points and 11 rebounds. In this half, Patterson, who had it knocked away by Good, who was fronting him inside in the lane, has gone 4 of 4. So Patterson is the man, a guy the Wildcats are counting on today at Freedom Hall.
Instability, bad.
Nailed it.
Drinkability, good. Not too heavy, not too light. Bud Light. The difference is drinkability.
You can buff up, clean up, but you can't cover up that bald spot. Instead of hiding it, solve it with Men's Rogaine Foam. In clinical testing, 85% of men regrew hair. Men's Rogaine Foam. Use it or lose it.
Cold Case, tonight on CBS.
Farm Bureau provides insurance coverage for your home.
That dress she was wearing? Does that hurt? Oh no. In fact,
for your car.
What she told me about her husband. Oh my gosh. I would kill him.
And of course, for your life. Kentucky Farm Bureau. Big on commitment.
It's an all-out flavor bliss with KFC Honey Barbecue Wings. We take our famous sauceless hot wings that are marinated in peppers and coated in seasoning, then glaze them in honey barbecue for 3 layers of flavor. Get 7 for $3.99 or grab a bucket of 20. Add a 32-ounce drink for a chance to win a trip to Super Bowl 44. Ditch the bag. Get the box. The KFC Fully Loaded Box. Packed with 2 new original recipe strips, a new original recipe snacker, drumstick or thigh, 2 sides, biscuit, large drink. That's a lot of food.
Bluegrass Harley-Davidson and Bluegrass Buell at I-64 and Blankenbaker.
For live, local, late-breaking news, download WLKY.com mobile.
The Big East postseason tournament will feature all 16 teams for the first time this coming year. 8 got NCAA bids a year ago. Do you see that many coming out of the East?
Perhaps, I would think certainly, but this team here, Syracuse, high-octane offense, a number of guys, 5 guys average double digits for this team. Andy Routen's back from an injury a year ago, really shooting the three-point ball well. That team is explosive and a real team, a team that I think you got to keep an eye on, Kevin.
Samuels has the 3, had 2 quick ones in the first half, sat most of the first half. He has been the force for Louisville's start this season at 8-3. Here's Meeks, picked up by Knowles.
Meeks has been quiet, but Patterson has found his way against the zone. Man-to-man that time, and he goes right to work. Got his body on Clark. Got his body on Clark, I think it was, who was guarding him, and then went right to the jump hook.
He's carving him up inside.
Yeah, he's doing a terrific job. Kentucky doing a much better job executing in the half court.
Patterson with 19 points and 11 rebounds. That Patterson this half has gone 5 of 5. The rest of the Cats have gone 1 of 7 from the field. McGee Clark. Stevenson out on him. Shot clock at 9. Out of bounds, 8 on the shot clock.
Well, I tell you, Perry Stevenson having some kind of game here in this second half. He's made a couple of beautiful assists. Drew an offensive foul on Earl Clark a couple of possessions ago and did a good job moving his feet and making a clean play on the ball there.
All right, 2 new guards coming in, Sosa and Smith for Knowles and McGee. And here comes Samardo Samuels back in the game for good for Louisville. And again, 8 on the shot clock. Louisville 50% from the field. Samuels can't hold on to it. Here comes Meeks, and a foul called on Samardo Samuels.
Wow.
That's number 4. He cannot stay out of trouble today.
Yeah, it's been a tough day for this young man, and that's part of it. That's part of it when you're a freshman. It's an intense game. He got the early foul trouble, and sometimes, Kevin, when you get those early fouls, you just never find a rhythm. And he's going to have to sit down again. That was just a bad break. He lost the ball and then just couldn't control himself and off balance committed the foul.
So freshman George Good comes back in the game. Approaching 11 to play in the second half. Miller, Good defending with the nice rejection on the Patterson shot. Patterson, because the pass was a little awkward, it was off balance.
He had to regather, and that gave Good time to deny the shot attempt.
Clark over Stevenson. Rebound by Patterson, brings down number 12, shoved down on the play. Looks like Terrence Williams was in there and draws the Cardinal foul. He did.
This is the 6th team foul on Louisville. Good two-handed rebound by Patterson. And remember now, Louisville 1 foul away from being over the limit. Kentucky, an 80% free throw shooting team, 78% on the year. So now the next foul puts Louisville over the limit and sends Kentucky to the line. And anytime you're trying to come from behind, Kevin, that's one of the things you want to do, is be able to get into that bonus so you can have a chance to score with the clock stopped and kind of grind your way back from a deficit.
As the Cardinal defense appeared to be as gripping, here comes Liggins, scooping it off to Stevenson. He traveled. And Terrence Williams turned an ankle for Louisville. And he is down in all fours right now. And they'll quickly take him out and bring in Swapshire. But has the defense of Louisville had that grip on Kentucky in the second half that you saw in the first?
I think Kentucky has found a pretty good rhythm in the half court. Initially, it was the zone that Louisville was playing. And when they got it inside to Stevenson and Patterson, Rick Pitino came back to man-to-man. But now Kentucky pretty confident in what they're executing in the half court offensively.
Swapshire came in for Clark. Williams stays in there, bad wheel and all. Here is Edgar Sosa. Liggins on him. Moves it away.
Not a lot of offense on the floor for Louisville right now.
That's a good point.
I mean, Sosa can, well, Jerry Smith's a shooter, but you've got a couple of young guys out there in Good and Swapshire, both with tremendous potential. They're unproven to this point. And you can see the confidence of Kentucky growing as Jerry Smith tries to harass first-year player DeAndre Liggins.
And Liggins takes it in. That's an offensive foul. And it was underneath and inside, I think, on Patrick Patterson.
I think you're right, Kevin. Let's take a peek to see if we can find it. Yeah, he held him up.
Yep.
That's an excellent call by Tony Green. He gave him a lower body root canal, and that's illegal. Had he just stood there, he would have been fine, but he gave it the back pedal, and that clearly was an offensive foul.
Clark back in. Swapshire will sit.
Well, Rick Pitino couldn't afford to have that lineup on the floor. He needed to get Clark back out on the court.
Cardinals have 3 turnovers in the last 4 possessions. Here is Williams over Miller. That's a 3. And the lead back to 10 for the Cardinals. Williams has hit 3 of his 4 3-pointers this afternoon.
He can be streaky from there. And he's in a good streak here today.
Zone by the Cardinals again. Stevenson uncovered for 3. He belts that home. How about that? You're right.
He's had a couple of assists, some excellent defensive plays, unguarded. not expected to shoot the three and sprayed it.
He's got 5 with 4 rebounds, does Perry Stevenson. Brings the Cats a little bit closer with 9:23 to play.
Beep! Happy holidays. Howard's phone. Howard doesn't have AT&T, which means no bars way out here. So he never got the call from his friend telling him to thaw the turkey before he deep fries it. Otherwise, it could, you know, explode. Yeah, we missed that call. I'm missing some beard.
Switch to the network with the best coverage, AT&T. More bars in more places. Now get 50% off all LG phones.
You know, it's not all fun and games when you're a mascot. Every year I find myself where the season always ends meets the bills never stop. You know that place where you realize even a squirrel can't live off peanuts? Well, maybe you don't, but believe me, I'm there.
Here's a way to score on savings.
Nice.
Switch your car insurance to State Farm. You'll save big, plus get a payment plan that fits your budget. Call, click, or visit and start saving today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You know I wear this everywhere.
I didn't cheat. Who is your partner?
This next shot may be the one that kills you.
Join me for the People's Choice Awards, where you'll pick your favorites in TV, movies, and music.
Queen Latifah hosts the People's Choice Awards, live CBS Wednesday.
CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by the new AT&T. Your world delivered. Reese's. Perfect. And by State Farm, proud partner of the NCAA basketball tournament. Call, click, or visit and start saving today.
Kentucky is led by as many as one 12-point lead for Louisville's been their big advantage today. They've had a couple of lead changes. Williams 13 points this half.
He's knocked down 3 of 4 from behind the arc. Here's one off of a nice pass from Earl Clark. Then Will Scott, part of a significant run a while ago for Louisville. And then Edgar Sosa able to find his way to the hoop and drew the foul. But despite that good shooting from Louisville during that stretch, Kentucky refuses to go away.
Well, the second chance points have been big for Kentucky. They're plus 10, and Patrick Patterson has authored all that.
Yeah, he's been terrific on the offensive glass, Kevin. Just pursuing the basketball. He's got a nose for it, and he puts in the effort and energy to get to it before anybody else.
Plus 15 points above the arc for Louisville this afternoon. The lead is 7. You see the scores right there.
Meeks had 14 of those 18 in the first half.
He had 12 over a 5-minute span in the first half.
So he's been really quiet. But again now, he can be the quiet before the storm.
Liggins got a hand on that pass. Good, picked it back up. Smith uncovered for 3. Another triple for Louisville. And Smith is 3 of 3 above the arc. And that has been a huge difference in this game. Athletic catch by Stevenson at the other end. Patterson had it jarred free. Picked up by Edgar Sosa. He finds again. He'll drive inside, and a foul called on Kentucky. He has been much more aggressive with the ball this afternoon.
He's picking his spots nicely too, Kevin. Recognized that Kentucky was in transition and a little confused as to who to guard, and just took full advantage of the lane opening up. Solid game for this young man today. I know he doesn't have a bunch of assists, but assists are a two-way street. You've got to make the pass, then your guys have to convert the shot.
Meeks picks up his second foul. One of the things about Sosa today, he began with a 3, and we talked about it. That fuels his confidence because, as you mentioned, this kid has kind of been on a roller coaster, game to game, season to season.
Yeah, you're right. And sometimes with players, offensive-minded players, they can put too much emphasis on making shots and scoring the ball, and it can negatively impact the rest of their games when it's not going well offensively. And the fact that he got off to a good start, I think, has carried over so far today.
Swapshire back in. Miller breaks the press. 8.5 to play in regulation.
Zone defense.
Zone, yep.
Zone defense again by Louisville.
2 on Patterson. That
Going
means
behind
corner's
him.
free, and here comes Miller. He'll slash inside. Picked up by Smith. Good screen by Good. Good over Patterson. Rebounded by Meeks.
Now man-to-man for Louisville. So perhaps after scores, Kevin, it looks like they may be in the zone, and then on misses, back man.
Patterson will take it into 2 defending Cardinals. He had Swapshire there and Good. Both reaching in. Good picks up the foul as Louisville holds on to an 11-point lead in Louisville. Nice shooting by both these teams this afternoon.
Well, I'll highlight this. In the 3 losses, Louisville has been at 30%. The 3-point shooting, 10 of 17, and overall 51% for Louisville. Not bad for Kentucky. Only 4 turnovers for Kentucky. At 18 is still a large number, but only 4 here in this half. Patterson with another double-double. That's his 9th double-double of the season for Patrick Patterson. And yet, Louisville continues to maintain that little 6 to 10-point cushion.
You see that the Cardinals coming into this afternoon, number 18 in the country. Kentucky has lost 5 straight and 16 of the last 18 games to ranked opponents coming into Freedom Hall this afternoon. Trailed by as many as 12 and down now by 10. The 9th double-double registered by Patterson in this game. 20 points and 12 rebounds. 21 right there. Here's Williams. Swapshire. Back to Williams. Swapshire picked up on the play by Perry Stevenson. Nice defense by Stevenson. That is a foul, as Patterson was knocked down.
The second time now as Perry Stevenson continues his stellar play in the second half. He blocked that shot attempt by Swapshire, and then Patterson, securing that board with 2 hands, is pushed, and Kentucky in the penalty. Shooting foul shots here. That's the 8th team foul, 1-and-1. Patterson, a 79% free throw shooter, Good with his 4th foul. And just what the doctor ordered, Kevin, if you're Kentucky trying to come from behind. The only element you need now, in addition to knocking down free throws, is Jody Meeks, for him to find his way into a couple of good looks from behind the 3-point line.
Patterson from the free throw line today has gone 5 of 5. The Wildcat team overall 13 of 14. So the second best free throw shooting team in the Southeastern Conference, doing a good job here.
And one of the best in the country, Kevin.
Yes.
You get up over 75% as a team, you're doing an excellent job. And part of the reason for that is that Jody Meeks and this guy here, Patrick Patterson, take most of the free throws for Kentucky, and Meeks is close to 90% from the line.
Clark back in for Swapshire. Freshman Miller is on Williams. Alley-oop for Williams, and it got wedged in on the pass from Edgar Sosa.
It was open.
Yep, it was.
It was
right
wide
there.
open. Back screen. Terrence Williams was there, ready to electrify this crowd. And the pass, actually, Terrence Williams got his hands on it. Had he secured it, he might have been able to direct it into the goal.
Comes Darius Miller, and he finds all kinds of defenders right there, almost a travel. The ball was tipped, and I think that's what Tim Higgins said.
Yep.
Good call. A good non-call.
Exactly.
Good screen by Patterson, knocked out Knowles, that opened up the shot outside for Jody Meeks. And now, just like that, they're within 5.
All Kentucky needs, they've got things tilted in their direction right now. Louisville, good time out here, because Meeks has been really quiet, but he'll look to be aggressive now. The penalty situation in favor of Kentucky. being able to get free throws on any common foul. They've still got a foul to give. Louisville has struggled to find offensive rhythm. They need Earl Clark and Terrence Williams to step up and make some plays for them.
So a 5-point game here. Great basketball next week. 2 great games. First on Saturday, the Kansas Jayhawks, fresh off a nice win over Tennessee yesterday, battle the Michigan State Spartans. Then on Sunday, Big Ten clash as Wisconsin will take on Purdue. It's all next weekend right here on the home of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship, CBS Sports.
Wisconsin is unranked, but clearly a team that's a threat to win the Big Ten. Let's see if this, in fact, is a 3. Hard to tell from that angle if Meeks got a toe on the line, but the officials are taking a look at it right now to determine whether it's a deuce or a tray.
Meeks has been quiet. 21 points right now. We'll have to see what they judge. You couldn't see that because Stevenson was in the way from that one view that we had right there.
Well, he's been in the middle of a lot of things.
Yes,
in addition to
he's
our
been
replay.
blocking all kinds of stuff.
There's the screen by Patterson.
I think he got it. I think he got it.
Well, they haven't changed the scoreboard to this point.
So they give him the 3.
It looks like it's a triple.
Meeks has 21. Patterson has 22.
Let's see what Louisville tries to execute out of this timeout here.
Samuels has come back in the game for Louisville.
Yeah, well, they might try to get him a touch.
Patterson will come up and out on him.
An all man-to-man for Kentucky. Louisville is mixed man and zone today.
Clark finding Samuels inside. Patterson was defending. Williams gets the loose ball. Sosa for 3 with the closeout by Patterson. An offensive rebound by Samuels. Williams another 3. Stevenson defending. In tight, missing everything on the play was Knowles.
Wow.
How about that? All those point-blank shots right at the rim.
I think they rushed the 3s. And then the little short jumper just was alligator arm.
Samuels watching Patterson. Porter, big possession here for Kentucky, knocked away by Clark, who climbs the back of Stevenson and picks up the Louisville foul. And 5:58 to play in the game.
That's the 4th foul on Earl Clark.
It is.
So you've got Samuels and Clark out there with 4. The 9th team foul on Louisville. An excellent free throw shooting team in Kentucky. And you can just feel the momentum shifting towards the road team here.
Rare miss today by Kentucky at the free throw line. 14 of 17. They've missed a couple here late in this game. Samuels trying to set a screen, or thought about it on Porter. Sosa reads it. Pick and roll with Samuels. Picked up by Patterson. Cutting is Williams. He lost the freshman. Miller off the wing.
Nice job by Samuels to maintain possession of that ball because he had 2 hands on it and was able to wait until Williams got free.
Williams has 19, but he's authored 15 in the second half for the Louisville Cardinals. Meeks by Samuels. Inside, it's picked off by Williams. He has been all over the floor for Louisville. Sosa. Clark. Rejected inside by Stevenson, his 3rd block today.
How about him being all over the floor as well in this second half? Perry Stevenson, a force.
Screen by Stevenson. Meek follows it. Knowles will tail him down the lane. Somehow Meeks comes up with a timeout. Kentucky. They've got 2 left. Watch this back door by Louisville.
Nice job here. Samardo Samuels, very patient. The lane was open, and a nice strong cut as Williams, was being overplayed that time by Darius Miller.
Working on Meeks, and Clark touched on this before, only 11 games last year. There you see Samuels. One of the things that Rick Pitino's been trying to get out of this freshman is better passing, more passing, whether it's in a double down low and recognizing it before the double clinches you, before it pinches you down low, or on plays like that where he's at the top of the offense and can find a cutter.
Yep, he was out at the top, turned and faced, and just waited until something developed. He did an excellent job that time. As you look at what the vital numbers are right now, this is the one that we need to keep an eye on. Can Kentucky take advantage of that foul situation without getting over the limit themselves?
Kentucky will put Ramon Harris and Patterson along with Stevenson, Meeks, and Porter on the floor. The guards for Louisville are Sosa and Preston Knowles. Clark is in there. Samuels is in there. And Terrence Williams in the game for Rick Pitino's Cardinals. Number 18 in the country, but they come in having lost 2 of their last 3 games, including a 1-point loss in this building earlier this week against UNLV.
Jody Meeks is still limping. I don't know if he had a cramp because he's not moving with the fluidity that he normally does.
So Harris takes it against Williams, and Stevenson finds himself open as Clark was lagging down low, and that open shot brings the Wildcats to within 5.
What a half for Perry Stevenson. Young man has been terrific at both ends of the floor.
Meeks on Knowles. There's a foul away from the ball. I think it was on Porter, who's trying to stick with Sosa. Yeah. That is a tough match.
Jody Meeks still trying to walk off whatever ailed him on that last play. Looks like it's his right calf or foot.
Porter picks up number 4 for the Cats.
You can see him just trying to shake it off. No way that young fellow wants to come out of this game right now, though.
So Meeks will be on Knowles, Samuels, and Patterson. And Clark is picked up by Stevenson, and Harris is on Williams. Clark with the screen. Shot clock is down to 10. Under 4 to play. Into Ramon Harris. Here comes Williams. He carried the ball with the dribbling violation. That's a turnover for Louisville. 5-point game with 3:49 to play.
This is James Brown in New York, top ranked and Clark.
JB, thank you very much. And here is our reset here at Freedom Hall in Louisville, Kentucky.
Well, there you see the vitals, the foul situation. Louisville with 9, 1 more and by Kentucky, and the Cardinals shoot free throws as well the rest of the way.
Had some great defensive performances today, but Stevenson working on Clark has done a very nice job for the Wildcats.
Yeah, he's done a nice job. He's been in good position. He's blocked 3 shots. He's one of the top shot blockers in the country. And he's done an outstanding job today. He scored a couple of buckets this half and has had a couple of nice assists as well.
New guards for Louisville include McGee and Smith.
Zone defense here, it appears, as they back off. No, it's actually man-to-man. No, they're settling in the zone. Matchup zone. Trying to work with Patterson inside.
Here's Porter, screened by Patterson.
It's actually soft man-to-man.
Stevenson, late closing, good on the defense. Nice rebound, another one for Patrick Patterson. What a rejection, nice. Knock away inside by Good. Rick Pitino has been masterful today rotating his centers because of some foul trouble for the sensational freshman Samuels. Good has had to see a lot of quality minutes today, the freshman from Kansas City.
Yeah, and he's come up big with a couple of nice defensive plays.
15 rebounds, by the way, for Patrick Patterson with his game-high 22 points.
Well, this is a soft man-to-man where the Cardinals, McGee is just laying off of Porter when he's at the top.
Good is on Patterson.
No double.
Williams giving a hint of it, as is McGee. Good fake by Porter, a 3. Good! Right between the eyes, he puts it down. An 11-2 run for Kentucky. They make it a 2-point game. What a shot by Porter. And Kentucky tightening the defensive screws. Chiseling their way back in this game after being down by 12. Stevenson watches Clark. Harris watches Williams. Intercepted by Porter. Harris, Patterson, Stevenson, Meeks. Kentucky has had one lead in this game of a point earlier in the second half. McGee is on Porter. Patterson, screened by Stevenson. And he lost the ball. It's off of Louisville, and 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Boy, just a tad too long on the pass, but it was a good thought by Patterson. They just kind of inverted, and Stevenson almost had an open layup.
And a timeout taken by UK. Porter's got 8. but none more important than that big-time triple moments ago. And tonight on 60 Minutes, they call him the mad scientist of football, Texas Tech coach Mike Leach. So what are his secrets? You'll find out tonight on 60 Minutes, followed by new episodes of $1 Million Password, Cold Case, and The Unit. That's tonight on CBS, America's Most Watched Network, with Clark Kellogg, Kevin Harlan. Louisville's shooting has been a weakness for the team this year. They're 1 of 8 here in the last 7 minutes of the game. As you take a look at our game reset and the run by Kentucky.
There's been a number of runs both ways in this game today. Louisville has been pretty good from the three-point line most of the game. But the half-court defense of Kentucky, Kevin, in addition to the second chance point, 15-point advantage there. The foul trouble to Samardo, Samuels a factor. But the Kentucky half-court defense has been very solid. Let's see what they execute here on the baseline out of bounds play. Plenty of time on the shot clock.
It's Porter with the inbound. Patterson, they practiced this last night in Freedom Hall about 7 o'clock last night. Shot clock is down to 4. Meeks picked up by Smith, who deflects the shot, picked up by Williams. Here comes Louisville.
Excellent defense. Well scouted that time, and a good job of executing defensively by Louisville.
Harris is on Williams. Clark again defended by Stevenson.
Side is clear.
2 of 11 shooting for Clark. Drives into Stevenson. And that is a foul. Stevenson will pick it up for the Wildcats. And he picks up his 4th of the game for Coach Billy Gillespie. And that sends Clark to the free throw line. We've had so many troughs in this game where Kentucky has fought back from deficits as large as 12.
Yeah.
They took a 1-point lead. Now they're down by 2, and Clark at the stripe. Clark 5 of 7 from the line.
And has struggled from the floor. 2 of 11 at the last glance at Clark's numbers.
And he was 4 of 11 the other night against UNLV.
Good looking stroke that time.
A turnover on the pressure. It is.
Perry Stevenson, who's done so much right, that time just assumed that Harris was ready to receive.
20 turnovers now for Kentucky as Sosa comes in, and McGee will leave. There goes Good. Back in comes Samardo Samuels, the freshman for Louisville. And Sosa with Porter on him. Meeks will be on Jerry Smith. Stevenson and Clark. Patterson and Samuels. Harris will guard Williams. There's a foul. Trying to fight through is Jerry Smith, held by Meeks. And Meeks picks up the foul. He's got 3.
That foul created because Jerry Smith makes a hard, aggressive cut, Kevin. If he just kind of tap dances through there, then Meeks is able to stand him up. But he met resistance with force and was able to draw the foul. That's why you cut hard.
You know you're going to get whacked. It takes a guy with a big heart to go in there and face that.
Exactly. You got to anticipate that it's going to be physical, and you can't shy away from it. And Jerry Smith earned himself a trip to the line because of his aggressiveness.
64% from the stripe this season so far. Nails his first. And the lead is 4. Cardinals from the free throw line tonight, 16 of 20, and the Wildcats are 14 of 17. 2 big ones. We'll see the pressure again. It's Meeks against Smith. Doubled by Goody Travel. Great Louisville defense. They force Kentucky to turn it over for the 21st time today.
That's been the story all game long. You saw Meeks lost his balance there. He kind of turned his ankle as he tried to come to a stop and took an extra hop. But that's been the story all game long, Kevin. Kentucky has been down, battled back, but then Louisville has found a way to push the cushion back to a comfort zone.
And you know, Clark, when you're trying to dig yourself out of a hole, sometimes there's not much left in the tank. You tire yourself. So much is coming out of that trough. As you take a look at today's Chevy players of the game, Patrick Patterson from UK and Terrence Williams from Louisville. Recognition of continued excellence on and off the court. Chevrolet will make a contribution to each university's general scholarship fund to support the development of new technologies and innovations. 58 seconds to play here. Cardinals with a 5-point lead. Let's go inside each huddle here. What's Pitino telling his Louisville team?
Execute, run your cut sharp, be sure with the ball, and try to use as much of this clock as you can before getting up a good shot. Kentucky, on the other hand, not sure if I would play the foul game, but if you allow 35 seconds to go off the clock, you're down to 23. So you might go for 7, 8, 10 seconds to try to force a turnover, then perhaps try to foul an average free throw shooter for Louisville and try to stretch this game out a little bit.
Well, Kentucky pulled to within 2 points, 66-64 on Porter's triple. But they've been scoreless over the last 1 minute and 52 seconds since.
A couple of turnovers in the last 2 possessions. And I've often said, Kevin, that turnovers are kind of like not getting enough sleep or missing breakfast. At some point, they really catch up to you. I mean, Kentucky's done a good job of overcoming the turnovers with excellent work on the offensive glass and good, solid half-court defense.
Liggins has come in. Stewart has come in now for Kentucky. Those are the only 2 changes out of that. Here comes Sosa, held by Ramon Harris in backcourt.
Well, only 8 seconds elapsed.
Next weekend, the NFL playoffs continue on CBS. First on Saturday, Ray Lewis and the Ravens take on Kerry Collins and the Tennessee Titans. And on Sunday, Phillip Rivers and the Chargers will take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. It all begins with a special playoff edition of the NFL Today. More people watch the NFL on CBS than any other network.
Hey, did you catch that trophy that Bill Cowher got for winning the picks contest all season long? That thing was about 8 feet tall.
Biggest trophy he's ever received, and we're talking about a Super Bowl winning coach.
Wow, yeah, that was quite impressive, yeah. He said it was going to go right next to the Lombardi trophy.
That's right. That's how much he cherishes that is Stewart.
First-year guy to come in and amongst the experts and win the game-picking contest that went on every week.
Stewart and Liggins will check out. Here's Porter back at the point for Kentucky. At the free throw line is Edgar Sosa.
Cardinals have done a nice job all game at the foul line. We talked about it at the top of our telecast. Frees and threes, and Louisville holding its own at the foul line and winning the 3-point game.
Rick Pitino said 2 weeks ago, Edgar Sosa is the final piece of our puzzle. He has a season high 15 points. At the free throw line, 8 of 9. His season, Sosa's season, Louisville's season, may have turned on his performance this afternoon against their Commonwealth rival, Kentucky.
Yeah, I think you could be right. Time will tell if that's the case, but he clearly has to continue to play at the level he showed today.
Meeks with a 3 in the miss. Rebound, Stevenson. Meeks will load it up again. Launching fouled by Smith. That was a triple try, and Meeks will have 3 coming at the free throw line. Smith has really done a nice job when he has been on Meeks today.
Yeah, he has.
They've been a lot of guys on Meeks. 3 different Cardinals have defended him.
They've done a really good job at putting different folks on him, keeping track of where he was. He had that one surge for about 5 minutes in the first half. You see what he does from the free throw line on the season. So you can just about mark these up, which will give Kentucky a chance to get into some full court pressure.
Meeks is the #1 scorer in the Southeastern Conference. Coming into this weekend, he's got 22. And now we see Samuels coming back in for good for the Louisville Cardinals. And McGee will leave, and here comes Sosa.
Offense, defense substitutions here.
And Kentucky going to make mass substitutions. In comes Stewart. And also coming in will be Galloway. And they put in Liggins. Leaving Porter, Stevenson. Harris.
You got to get the numbers right here. You can't have 6 guys out there.
Glad we can count. 38 seconds to play.
Well, you'll try to pressure, try to force that ball to the sideline, and then you're going to have to foul pretty quick.
Trying to trap Clark. It's off of Patterson, and it ricochets out of bounds.
This is where I would like to see in college basketball. Now you only have 4 seconds to get it over the timeline, which is the rule in the NBA.
Sure.
But now it goes back to the new 10-second clock. So that's a disadvantage to the defense when you force a re-inbounds of the ball in the half court.
It's a great point. Kentucky is out of timeouts, and Louisville.
Maybe allow 1 inbounds pass and maybe a dribble or 2.
Patterson has it inside to Meeks. What a play by Patrick Patterson. It's a 2-point game with a half minute to play. The inbound, that's picked up by Meeks. Louisville turns it over 2 consecutive times. Meeks inside for the tie and fouled on the play.
Can you believe that, Kevin?
What a great play to begin it by Patterson.
Yeah, just active with the hands. And Earl Clark just tried to get that ball up over the top, panicked a little bit, and then the presence of mind to get it to the rim in the hands of Jody Meeks. And then on the inbounds pass, just assumed that it would go over the top, and I think it may have been Earl Clark inbounding that pass.
And Clark just picked up his 5th personal foul and a 2 of 11 shooting display against this Kentucky defense, and specifically Perry Stevenson this afternoon.
Yeah, you feel for that young man right there, Earl Clark, because he's had to tie it up.
Meeks, the number 2 free throw shooter in the Southeastern Conference, and a perfect display from the stripe with 27 points this afternoon. What about the fight in these Wildcats?
Yeah, there's never been a doubt about that, Kevin. All game long, it seems as though they've been fighting uphill. Only took 1 lead. But you talked to Billy Gillispie last night at practice, and he likes this team. He likes the way the team has improved since the start of the season. He likes how hard they work. And right now, he likes that they're tied with 23 seconds to go.
And a 7-0 Kentucky run the last 16 seconds. So here we go, tied for the 4th time in the game.
I think pick and roll here for Sosa. Middle pick and roll to give him a chance to turn the corner and create for himself or a teammate.
Porter is on Sosa. They
just went 1-4 flat.
Yep. Sosa's had a great game today. Oh, he got the shot, 2.3. He knocks in the triple. Here comes Porter. Good if it goes. Louisville has won. The game-winning shot by Edgar Sosa.
Well, I thought they would pick and roll, but they decided just to go 1-4. Sosa knew all the time, Kevin, that he was going to pull the trigger here. Porter was backed off of him to protect against the drive. See, you saw Scott try to come over and set a screen. Sosa waved him off.
Sosa finishes with a season-high 18 points. He knocked down 2 threes. No player has been talked about more in this Louisville program than Edgar Sosa tonight on CBS 60 Minutes, followed by new episodes of $1 Million Password, Cold Case, and The Unit. What a game. The game winner with 2 seconds remaining. A big-time triple by Edgar Sosa of the Louisville Cardinals. For Clark Kellogg, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Freedom Hall. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports.